my friends. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to my channel and welcome to hashtag Junk No More. That is an open collab hosted by myself and Maria of Maria's Miscellany, my good friend, and we've been doing this collab this year. It is open for everyone, whoever wants to participate. Just use the hashtag Junk No More and link Maria and I's channel, let people know that it is an open collab and everyone's open to everyone to participate. So this month's prompt is old clothes. So not old clothes, it could just be clothes, period, that maybe your own clothes that you're not wearing anymore, or maybe you see something at the thrift store and you think, oh, I could do something with that, which a lot of people, of course, have done. So anyway, I wanted to share a couple things with you that I have picked up that I still have that I haven't used yet at thrift stores that have to do with old clothes. I don't think I've ever used any of my old clothes, except the only thing maybe I've done is check out the buttons on a piece of clothing I was getting rid of and see if I want to keep the buttons. So I think I have done that maybe once or twice, but and kept the buttons is what I mean. A lot of times there's no buttons, or maybe the buttons aren't, because I have so many buttons, so I'm not going to just keep any old button. I find any modern button or whatever that's just a regular old, like little white button or something, or a little black button, because I have so many of those already. But there's two things I still have in my stash that I have not used yet, and right here is one of them. And I saw this on a piece of clothing at the Goodwill bins. Then I picked up it was a little child or baby denim jacket. I believe it was. It was so cute. And it had this little piece on there. This is like a little embroidered piece. You can see it's got little shiny pieces in the flowers here, little like glittery pieces. And so I think I might have had more pieces from that jacket, but I've used them, and this is the last one I have still. So it's so cute, and it's a little piece of embroidered, just for instance, if I was going to put it on a page or a pocket or whatever, here's what it would look like after I would glue it down, and it would be a really pretty decoration. And it's not bulky, and it's all really, it's backed with denim from the jacket. I just fussy cut it out. Well, no, it's not. It's got denim around it, I guess. I was thinking it was back because I could see the denim there. But yeah, it's actually got the embroidery on the back too, and it's, around it is some of the denim that where I cut it from, and from the jacket. But the only thing you got to remember, if you're going to do something like this, it does take a little time to cut things out from clothing. A lot of times if you're going to actually cut things out, same for if you ever bought, or maybe you haven't bought yet, a quilt. If you ever buy a quilt, yeah, it's great to use for covers and everything, but it's a lot of work to cut it apart. Take my word for it. I've done it a couple times, and you gotta have some sharp, strong scissors, or maybe you have electric scissors. I don't know, but it does take a lot of work. So when I look at something, a piece of clothing, a piece of fabric, quilt, whatever, I'm like, do I really want to do this type of thing? Think about it twice and make sure it's something that you're going to be able to do and have time to do. So anyway, that little embroidered piece, and let's see what else. Okay, so one time I found a shirt, and it was kind of like a t-shirt shape, a woman's t-shirt, but it was all these little flowers. And I got it, and you can see I've used a lot of these. I've used a ton of these, and I think I even sold some. I don't have them in my shop anymore, because I guess I'm saving the rest for me to use. But I sold quite a few little packages of these, and they're just little. I cut in between. I was able to cut in between. See, there's different sizes and shapes here of all these little fabric, kind of neutral cream ecru colored little flowers that I can use now. I got a whole little bin of them. And believe me, they go a long way because it's not like you use a lot on one project. But just say, for instance, you can use them on a little pocket. You could group them together and put a little something in the middle. You could just use them by themselves. But just say I brought these tags out so I could just show you an example of how I've used them on something, either a page, tag, journal card, whatever. But just glue them down with a little art glitter glue. I'm going to put one on here. Put a little art glitter glue on the back. You could use them in clusters, you know, maybe the top of a cluster and have some little pieces of paper or fabric underneath these. Just, there's a lot of uses for something like this. And I'm just going to add one here, maybe. Let's add it down here in the corner. Little flower. They're nice and flat, as you can see, and it adds a lot, especially these are the color it came in. I didn't coffee dye these or anything. They were this ecru kind of color. They weren't white or anything, but look how cute that is. So they add, even one little flower adds a lot to whatever you're putting it down on, I think. You know, if you need a little something, you don't, you know, if you have a little stash of these, say you're finished a project or you're finishing a project and you say it needs a little something. If you have a little stash of things like this, you could add that little something with something like this. Something that you got from an old piece of clothing. I mean, I don't know how old or new it was. I found it at the bins. But yeah, you can just, I put enough glue to glue everything down flat when I use it like this, and just add it to my project. And that's actually really cool. You can see the text through the little swirly part there in the middle, little holes that are in the middle of this flower. So anyway, that's an example of clothing. And that was the prompt for this month. But while I was at it, I thought I would show you other things I've gotten that weren't clothing. So this little bag right here, believe it or not, yes, it was a lot of work cutting out all these little pieces, but I had a doily, and it was kind of like a doily. It was some kind of linen type thing that had lots of little circles on it, and it had other size circles in it. I might have, yeah, I think this is, oh, I'm going to show you what I'm going to show you in just a second. It was part of it, but it had like bigger circles and then these little circles in between the bigger circles. And you would think, you know, I would just cut out the bigger circles and not mess with the little circles. But of course I did. And I cut out all these little circles, you know, around. And they're all connected. You know, it's just picture a bigger circle in between these. So just, they were all connected, and I just cut in between them. And now I have this little bag of, they look like little tiny doilies. But, and then there's, you know, there's not a lot in there, but there's plenty in there for me to use on whatever I want to use them in. So I just have to remember to use them, right? And then, of course, there's doilies and you know, doily type scarves and table scarves and runners and, you know, just all those kind of things. So that's what these were. These were all connected, and I took them and cut them all apart so they're ready to go, ready to use. They were this color. I did not coffee dye these or anything, so it was like a little vintage linen that I cut apart. And I know a lot of people have done this. I'm just showing you what I have done and giving you examples of things, especially if you're new to this type of craft, things you can look for. This beautiful linen here. This might have been the one that had the little, oh no, this wasn't the one, but these were connected. All these little doilies were connected, say, in a table runner or something. See, I have a whole bunch here. They were all connected, and I separated them all into separate little doilies like that. So they're all separate little doilies now for me to put on a page, a pocket, the front of a journal cover. You know, needs a little something here or there. These are great. And I didn't coffee dye these or anything. Of course, you can see they're pretty light. But if I wanted to, I could coffee dye them if I wanted them to be darker. So those are two separate things I have in that bag. And then one more bag to show you. And I think this is what was with the little ones that I showed you. The little tiny ones were, they were in, oh, there's some in here too. I didn't separate them all. But see, here's some of the little ones in here. Yeah. So yeah, these little ones were in between these bigger ones. There's a bunch of little ones in here. I don't know why I have the ones separated, but I do. So yeah, it was a whole, whatever it was, tablecloth, scarf, whatever it was. This has been done for, 2 or 3 years. I have had these in my stash, and I have a lot. I've never sold any of these just because, it's hard to sell. I mean, it's not hard to sell, but it's a little, for certain reasons, it's hard to sell little things that don't cost very much. So anyway, again, I can coffee dye these if I want them darker, but they're like, once I cut them apart, they're not, let's see, how are these made? I'm not sure. I'm sure it's made by machine or whatever, but still, they look like, the point is, they look like little doilies, and they're cute little pieces that I can add to things, whatever I'm doing. So many things. Pockets, tags, the front of a journal, a cluster, just whatever. So, yeah, I've got that whole bag just from something I picked up at, I think this was from the bins. I showed you that shirt flowers that was from, I remember seeing that in one of the bins at the Goodwill bins, and it was on top of a pile of clothes. And I was like, I made a beeline for it because I was like, ooh, that looks like something I could use. But this little piece right here, this is probably the oldest, most vintage one I have. This I got at an estate sale. They had a whole bunch of these. The lady must have just loved making these because there's like fabric in the middle, and then whatever, this is knitting or crocheting or whatever it is around the sides. But she had like a bigger scarf full of those things, these little pieces, and little pieces, like she was making something out of the little squares. And I did sell a lot of those little squares and things already. They're gone, but this is what I have left, and plenty for me that I saved for me to use there. But yeah, just an idea, throwing out there things you can use in your junk journal projects and paper crafting, ephemera making projects, things you can look out for. So yeah, and they can be like, those are all kind of neutral, or they can be little colorful pieces. I would love to find more little embroidery pieces like this, but they're really few and far between. So if you see one, the best place to buy them or look for them is at the bins, because you're not paying whatever the price is at the regular Goodwill store. Say it's $3.99 for that little, it would have been maybe $3.99 or $3.75 or whatever. The kids, I don't know what they are. The kids' clothes, $3, $2.75, whatever. Being that I got it at the bins, it was, mere probably like 50 cents or 25 cents or something. So it didn't cost me $2.99 or $3.99 or whatever the kids' clothes are. So if you don't have a bins near you, I'm sorry, but that's where I do have one near me. Thank goodness, because I love it. It's my favorite Goodwill store, and yeah. So I haven't been going there that much this year, but in the past I have gone there on a weekly, several times a week basis. So I have plenty of things in my stash. But anyway, just ideas thrown out there for you today. I hope you enjoyed. And next month's prompt is, I think it's going to be, I asked Maria about it, and we haven't agreed yet because I just sent it to her before I did this video, but I asked her about negatives, from photos, or you could call them film strips maybe. I do have a film strip too. I have negatives from photos, and I have a film strip that I got at the bins. that I could use. So it's two very different things, but kind of the same category. So maybe you have some of those and you don't want to know what to do with them. They're something that, you know, a lot of people may have left from photos when we used to take actual photos more and print, you know, take them to Walmart and have them, or wherever, and have them developed. And you get the negatives back with your photos. Maybe you just have a lot of those in your photos and you don't know what to do with them. You still have them. So next month will be where we've done, I'll show you some that I already have used and done things with, and I'll show you, and we'll craft with some also. So thank you for watching today. Don't forget to check out Maria's video. I'm sure she's going to have a lot of ideas and show you a lot of things to do with the clothes that she, either from her own clothes or things she's thrifted. So thank you for watching. She always has great ideas, so make sure you go over there. You can click my link and go right over there and give her some crafty love, and subscribe if you're not. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Have a great day.